How is it that you've managed to stay so grounded and so positive and so, you've been doing this for 50 years. How have you stayed Steve?
Well, I had some of the biggest bombs.
That's how you stayed Steve.
Like 1 week, the movie opens at 30 million, and the next week your movie opens at 30 cents. Whoa. Ouch.
Our business can be sobering.
Oh my God. I think that basically it's the people that I surround myself with, or that are kind enough to surround me. My family, my mom and dad were and are, my dad passed 3 years ago, but they were always teaching me at the kitchen table. And all those lessons I learned at the kitchen table, like my dad used to say, you can run for the bus screaming and yelling and worried, oh my God, am I going to make the bus? Can I make the bus? Oh my God, I'm late. I'll never get there. I'll be late for class. Or you can run for the bus and just run. And you don't have to be worrying and screaming and crying, and you just run for the bus. So all these lessons I learned at their kitchen table, I'm able to use in boardrooms and audition rooms and sets and the Oval Office and, wherever I am that is perhaps configured as sophisticated and complicated. The things I learned at my parents' kitchen table carried me through, and then also taught me how to learn new things. The people that I love and care about all my life have been rooting me on, but giving me perspective in a great way. Not putting down like, okay, you had a #1 movie last week. You're not so great. They never did that. But they sort of said, wow, you have the #1 movie. This is so terrific. This is great. Can you pass the broccoli? So there's, a grounding of, as you said, a reality that, what you did was important and has resonance and, gets you a front seat at the theater. But we still need to mow the lawn and take out the garbage and take your mom and dad to the doctor and show up for a dinner party at your friend's house where you're not the most important person there. And not in career-wise, but like it's Aunt Sally's birthday and she's the real important person there. So it's about perspective. And, what we do, the craft is an important craft. It's an art, and it's one to be honed and learn your skills and respect it. But frankly, what we do is not that important. It's very effective. We entertain and we educate, but we're not all that. We're actors, and we're here to put on a show and maybe teach and, as I said, entertain. But nobody's really that big a deal. I mean, that great Bob Dylan song, "We All Have to Serve Somebody," we serve the president, and the president has to serve the people, and the Pope has to serve God. None of us are really all that. And my dad was a big Gore Vidal fan, and I worked for a producer that was renting Gore Vidal's house. Gore Vidal happened to be there. And he said to my dad, we live in the United States of amnesia, that no matter who you are, people forget.
Yeah.
Like, who's Humphrey Bogart? Well, he was the #1 human being on earth for a while. Wherever Humphrey Bogart went, people fainted. But he's not that important now. Nobody's that important now. No. In 20 minutes, everybody's gone. Look around. Everywhere you look right now in 100 years, everybody is going to be gone. and very few things last. So I guess in a long-winded way, I think it's nice to sort of talk it out a little bit that I don't think I'm that important. I think that I'm one of a community, my family, my friends, my town, my city, my state, my country, my planet. And if I can do something and make a little difference by having an enormously entertaining product or help someone across the street, they're both great. And they probably both will be forgotten. But
how do you not find that? Because I agree with you. I agree with you in so many ways. I find that the idea of the knowledge and the acknowledgement of that everyone around you will be gone in 100 years so incredibly depressing that I find it at times debilitating, and it brings me fear. This sort of like, well, if it means nothing, then like, okay, it means nothing. And then I have to stop myself and go, no, but it means something to the people that are here.
Yeah.
And it's hard. So I guess, is that why your social media is so incredibly positive? Because so many people I know follow you on social media.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Wow, that's great. Well, first of all, you're right in how it goes. So if you look around and you think, well, most of the day we're thinking how important everything is. God, how long is this DMV line going to be? I mean, I've got stuff there. I mean, God, I need my sandwich now, or it's so important that we get the pool cleaned now, or whatever that is. How long am I going to be on hold? I mean, but then when you think about that powerful statement that in 100 years, all this is going to be gone and nothing's going to matter. Yeah. You take a pause and you go, wow, none of this really matters. And you know what happens? It morphs into, and I'm sure it happens to you consciously or subconsciously, that, okay, so I'm late for the train. It doesn't really matter because the next train's coming. Okay, I burned the steak. Okay, well, let's look in the freezer, see what else we got, and I'll cook that. I made a mistake. I forgot to pick you up, or I said the wrong thing, or whatever it is. It's not that big a deal. Oh my God. I said her name is Alice and I called her Sally. It's not that big a deal. It's okay. You forgot. You made a mistake. Nothing's really that big a deal. What's big a deal is a doctor replacing a lung. And it's a 12-hour operation. He needs not to be disturbed. That's a big deal. Because then that person's going to live and have another lung. There are certain things, okay, yeah. They are, the pilot that's piloting the plane, he can't just have like 10 drinks, and it really matters that he's sober and flying right and all
we
that. We hope. But there's a freedom to it. So I think you're right in taking that moment and going like, well, what does it all matter? And then, one of your kids comes and says, I need, I just spilled milk on the carpet. Okay, we got to clean it up. That means something. And then all of a sudden, the day-to-day dealings of life, because it's your life and it's their life and it's your community's life and it's your family and your state and your city and your country and your world. It's their lives. My dad and my mom, very positive people. My mom made me memorize "If" by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. And it's a great poem. It's a very positive poem. At the end of the poem, it says, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son. And it's all about dealing with life's disappointments and smiling. Okay, I got left back from 7th grade to 7th grade, and all my friends got to 8th. That sucks. It sucks. Okay, I'm going to make the best of it. And even if you don't believe it, you can say it. Yeah. So my mom also loved this song, Feeling Groovy by Simon and Garfunkel, which is this great song which she wanted us to memorize. Feeling groovy. And it's like this sort of like, that's how life should be. 80% of life should be happy. That's, by the way, the effing rule. Not 80% is crappy. No. God made us to be like, we were born happy. Like we didn't know that we're not that good looking, or we're not that tall, or we're not as smart as the other guy, or not as rich as the other guy. We didn't know any of that. We're sort of born like, yeah, screaming and like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And so 80% of life should be happy. 20% is not going to be happy. There's going to be real tragedy in our lives. And that sucks. And that's hard to live with. So what happened was my dad was in the hospital. And during the day, I'd come out and get a cup of coffee. There were people around. At night, 3 a.m, I would come out of the hospital. There's nobody around. I'd sit there, have a cup of coffee by myself, lonely. A friend of mine said, you know what? Talk into the machine, into the internet. People will talk back. I'm like, okay. So I tried it one night, and people started writing me. Hey, I'm taking care of my mom. I know what it's like to be at 3 in the morning. Hey, my baby's up at 3 in the morning. I know what it's like to be up. Hey, my kid is sick. I'm taking care of it. So I started doing this Twitter, I think at first, and then Instagram, where I would sort of talk and sort of see if anybody feels how I feel. Do you ever feel like you have a lot of friends and a lot of family who love you, but you feel really lonely? Do you feel like sort of having like a pity party? And do you want to do that? Is that weird? What do you guys think? Or do you ever feel like today's great? Like a rabbi, my dad and I had this rabbi friend who said, sometimes you have to take the good with the good. Yeah. Sometimes it's really good. Yeah. Sometimes life is really good. Sometimes you pick all the right numbers. Yeah. And celebrate that, man, and have a good time. And then there are times when it's not so great. And I always want to connect with people and say, do you feel how I feel? Like, I look around and go, oh, my house isn't that nice. That guy's house is bigger. I'm not that tall. He's taller. And then, how do you deal with that? And then I go, do you guys just have to go, screw it. I'm not playing that game, brother. I'm not playing that game. I'm not playing the, compare and despair game. No. I like my house. I like my feet. My socks are great, you know?
Yeah.
So so now I kind of do it when I think of something and it comes out positively, but it can come out. My sister always says, you seem like you're depressed on some of your statements. I'm like, I'm not depressed. I'm just sort of real. I want to be real and take a chance that won't ruin my career by being, not like a macho or tough guy, that I'll still work and I'll still get great jobs. So I really try in life to be that guy that Dennis Leary said that he hates. And I talked to Dennis about this. Dennis said he was eating breakfast with Sean Penn, and they were talking about like Shiny Happy People, this song by REM, Michael Stipe.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, we hate shiny fucking happy people. I hate them. I fucking hate them. And Sean's like, I hate them too. And I told Dennis this because my sister told me this story. And then he said, Michael Stipe walked in to the restaurant and they're like, oh no, he knows that I hate that song and everything. And Michael Stipe came over to the table and gave them a matchbook. And then walked away like angry looking. And Dennis Leary's like, oh my God, I said bad things about this guy's song and Shiny Happy People and everything. And he opened up the matchbook and it said, I hate Shiny Happy People too. And I've heard a lot of guys like say to me, oh, you're fucking so positive. But you know what? This is what I choose to do.
Yeah.
It's how I can live my life. If someone says, oh, it's so hot out, I go, well, I kind of like the heat. It's kind of good in a way.
Yeah.
I try to turn it around. I need to. It's something I need to do.